All right, are we live? It usually says we're live when we're live.
Yes,
I'm not sure why it doesn't say that for me. Does it say for you that it's live?
it
It says
said
end
it's for
stream.
me. Yeah, live 1 minute 25 seconds.
Okay, so maybe it's they changed up their UI or something here. Oh, I think I know what it is. Oh, I figured it out. I figured it out. So, anyways, my bad. Hey, everybody, my name is Sunny Ray. This is the Sunny Ray Show. Thanks to our sponsors, GTM Ventures and Raz Rocket. Today, I'm joined by Carol, and we've got an interesting topic. I gotta say, why 90% of founders make the same mistake. Carol, how are you today?
Very good, Sunny. Thanks for hosting me in your show.
Awesome. Yeah, nice to have you here. Usually takes about 5 minutes or so for people to trickle in, so we'll give them a little bit of time. But let's kick off. I like to start with the first question is more around just maybe share a sentence or two on your company, what you're doing, and then we'll come back to that at the end of the interview. Yeah, maybe we'll focus more on your backstory.
Perfect. So I'm the founder of BackFund, which is BackFund is mainly two things. First of all, it's an investment fund based in Spain, where we invest mainly in deep tech startups in the pre-seed and seed stage. But also we run several innovation initiatives, mainly for big corporations, where we help them to invest in startups and also to do what is called POCs, proof of concepts. So knowing that we have like a huge advantage on knowing which startups are cool in the ecosystem, we either kind of invest in them or introduce them to some of our clients to make proof of concepts and to have them as a first customers. So basically what we are doing right now, running some funds and also helping them to reach the first customers.
Interesting. Normally I might leave the answer to the question that we asked to the end, but I'm just so damn curious. What is the 90 what do 90% of founders what is the mistake? Let's maybe dive right into the deep end a little bit and then we'll backtrack from
Um,
there.
Well, you need to know that in the last 2 or 3 years, my main point of contact with the startups has been when they are looking for money. But still, the same mistakes appears over and over again. It's they kind of they made a lot of mistakes when doing the financial planning for the year. So they vastly overestimate their revenues and vastly overestimate their costs. So they said, or they have the feeling that they are going to have 1 million in revenue, and at the end of the year it's not 1 million, it's 700,000 euros, something like that, which is fine. But then if you build the model on top of that assumption, then it's going to cost you a lot of things that is going to get you into a lot of trouble. So, for example, we are in March already. Let's say I'm analyzing a startup right now. If you are a B2B, it's highly unusual that you are going to get new customers this year alone in 2026. So the revenues that you already closed is 95% the revenues that you're going to have this year. So don't put me, please don't put in your Excel sheet like you are going to double the revenue this year if you already hasn't closed those clients. So that's for me is the main mistake that mostly entrepreneurs do. And why they do that? Because they are optimistic. Of course, they launch a new initiatives. They need to be optimistic by nature, but then the reality hits, and you run out of money in month 6 or month 8, and that's really pissed me off.
So that lens you're saying is more through as an investor who invested in a company, correct?
Yeah,
Okay. So that's I like that. So just I don't want to say mismanagement, but like being over optimistic
yeah,
with your projections and
totally.
maybe not conservative enough, right, with your costs. I like that. Hey, I have another question for you. And again, I'm kind of really going off the beaten path of my normal like interviews. I really go into your backstory and stuff, but I'm just like really interested. Wait, so you must hear a lot of pitches, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, on a daily basis. Are there when you're listening to a pitch, is there two or three things that you're looking for, like you're kind of looking to check off in your mind in terms of the message itself, like not like their body language and all that, but I mean like
Mhm.
in terms of the content, is there two or three things that you are optimizing for? And I'll say what I think those three might be, but I'm just curious to know what those are.
Um, for me, it's something that most entrepreneurs don't do is to show the speed of execution. like what you have done the last 6 months, what you have learned, how do you pivot, how do you adapt to what the market is showing. And that is a skill that not most of the founders have it, but not most of the founders show it. They speak a lot about the market, the product that they are building, how big the product is going to be, but they didn't show like 6 months we were nothing, and then we get some customers, and then we get a new product, and then we do this, and then AI comes, and then we build on top of AI something else, and now we are launching the third version of the product. That's amazing. 25 seconds, that's it. And that shows that you really are learning from the market, reading the market, and trying to adapt what the market is telling to you. So that is something that most entrepreneurs don't do it. Also, they don't, when once they have the product, they don't show it. Right now I'm doing an incubation program for an energy company. So some of the startups are hardware companies, and all of them has the physical product already built. Can you believe that I haven't seen the product already? It's like, you have the product, show it. It's like, you show that you know how to build it, then we can figure out if you can build it at the scale, commercial side, or you can build like 1,000 items of your product. But the main thing is not talk about the market and how big the markets. All markets are very big, but show the product that you're actually building it.
Interesting. So you feel that people do cover the market size question, but
Mhm.
where they maybe fall down is the traction question, right? Like
Yeah.
demonstrating that, look, we have a widget, a product, a thing,
Mhm.
a service, a tool, an AI bot that is essentially finding its way to that hockey stick graph, and
Yeah.
then you're gonna win that market. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's go, I guess, to my more like normal programming. Yeah, like so I was reading about your background. You studied business administration. So what drew you to that path? Were you always, like, even as a kid, were you business minded, or did something else spark your
Um,
interest?
yeah, I will say yes. And if you interview my family, they will say the same. So all my family runs their own businesses. We are from the south of Spain, and all of them has created the companies where they are working on right now. So they have a huge entrepreneurship mindset and spirit. So I have been surrounded by business owners from the very beginning, let's say. So then I went to business school, and from the very early age, I wanted to do something in the field of entrepreneurship, either starting my own thing or helping entrepreneurs or working with entrepreneurs side by side. So that's why I started in a very big company called Red Bull. But then I said, okay, perhaps even Red Bull was amazing as a job, the kind of activities they involve you. But then I said, I want to work with this type of people that are doers, that are creators, that are there's a new technology and they are thinking about how to create a product out of that technology. And that was kind of an ecosystem that really pushed me into thinking about working with these kind of entrepreneurs.
Interesting, interesting. And then you went to a company called, is it Avanza?
Avanza.
Oh no, that wasn't what I thought you worked after. So what did you do after that? After you, like, how? I guess I'm just curious about your story in terms of like how you
Okay,
got
yeah.
from there to, what you're building today. Like, yeah, maybe just take us through quickly, like your
Yeah,
your hero's arc or whatever.
very quickly, I started in an organization called Tetron Valley, which is kind of an accelerator program here in Madrid. And then
Interesting.
I went from intern to CEO in less than 2 years. So Tetron Valley really helps me to understand the challenges of the startups in all the senses, like how to build a product, how to get the funding, how to structure your cap table, how to work with your founders. And I learned a lot about the startups there. And then I figured out in that period of time that the thing that they really interested me more was investing. But it was kind of an NGO structure, so they weren't doing any investment so far. So then I jumped from Tetuan Valley to an equity crowdfunding platform here in Spain called Startup Explore, where I learned the basics of how to analyze and invest in startups. And then a very good opportunity came to my door, which is Google. They said, hey, do you want to work with startups that are related to Google? And basically you couldn't say no, because it's a very, very interesting job working in Google, but with startups. So that's quite a pretty unique, very unique job. I was the manager of the entrepreneurship campus that they had in Madrid. But then, as I said before, in my nature, I want to become entrepreneur. So I started BackFund with the contacts that I made in Teton Valley and in Google. And so we gather a community of 50 entrepreneurs, innovators, people from open innovation departments to invest a little bit of money. And my founder and myself were managing that money. So we built BackFund, the portfolio of BackFund, the follow-ons, and everything that comes after.
So BackFund now has, is it 16 startups in your
Yes.
portfolio? And a community over 100 backers, and you've facilitated, I think over 1.5 million euros, right, in enterprise sales for your
Yes.
company. So walk me through how the model actually works day to day.
Yeah, so my main obsession was to build this platform where people that wants to invest in startups, but perhaps they don't have like a big ticket to invest in startups, can still access high quality startups. How? Like being part of a small investment vehicle that it's running by myself, the back fund vehicle. So basically, but still there's a huge challenge how we can extract the most value out of these investors. We call them backers. So we have like three main things: rely on technology, of course. So every time we invest in a startup, we record a video, 10-minute video of the startup presenting themselves, but also sharing the main challenges that they have right now. And that video, we share it with the backers. I also know the backers. So I have built a database with all the information, current positions, expertise, areas of knowledge of these backers. And I share that database with the founders. So I kind of rely on both founders and backers to do their own job, to do their own work, to see who is in the database and who could be a very good contact. And from the backers to watch the video and say, hey, by the way, I can help the startup in these kind of things. Perhaps you don't know that I have a friend in Mexico working in real estate, and this is a prop tech that is thinking about expanding to Mexico. So I don't know that as a manager, but if you see the video, then something, a light will come up, and then you can kind of raise the hands and see and say to me how you can help this startup. So that's why we have created 1.5 million euros in value, because we provide a curated information about the current challenges of the startup to the backers, and then they can raise their hand and say, hey, by the way, I have a friend in, I don't know, in BP, an energy company. I can introduce you to them, and maybe they can do a project together. Or I have a friend with this kind of investors. So that is something that is truly where we want to be known there in the market.
That's fascinating. Your passion comes through even though you're on the other side of the world. So your guys' portfolio spans like a whole range of companies, right? You guys have
Yeah.
quantum computing, satellite, AI, you've got mental wellness, sales automation. So is there a common thread that connects all of these companies? Are you intentionally casting a wide net? Can you talk to that a little bit?
Well, I can tell you the official version or the real version. Which one do
Oh
you like it?
man, I want both.
Okay, great. So yeah, the official one is full-time people, highly committed entrepreneurs, attractive markets. They were executors. And then the real one is, it's true that I am very price sensitive. We built BackFund in 2021. If you remember, 2021, the market went crazy. There were a lot of blockchains, metaverse, crypto, not so much AI back then, and the valuation of the startups were high, skyrocket. So all of our portfolio is between 1 to 5 million valuation at the entry point, which is like what is happening in the back door. Is like we analyze very in depth the potential profits that we can get from each investment, and of course, the lower price entry that you have, the better is going to be the outcome of that investment. So that's the real thing where I'm seeing about the startups is about, okay, how big could be this startup, and which price I'm paying right now for this upside.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you've also been very vocal about Europe, right? Needing to invest earlier and take more risk at the pre-seed
Mm.
stage. What needs to change in like the European ecosystem for that to happen at scale?
Oh man, many things have to change from the ambition of the entrepreneur, you can clearly see when you talk with an American entrepreneur versus the same kind of product with a European counterpart. But I think that the best or the most important thing to change in order to jump into the next stage, it's exits. We barely have European established companies buying startups or scale ups. We did an analysis about the 400 exits that we had in Spain the last 25 years, and I can tell you that only three of them were from Spanish companies. Spanish companies buying, Spanish corporations buying startups. Only three of them in the top 100 operations by size. Uh, that you can't build anything with those numbers. You can't rely on the American counterparts to buy startups in Europe or in Spain. So I think that's my biggest complaint. How come we can? It's good to have unicorns. It's good to have 1 billion valuation startups, but at the end of the day, we either has a very liquid market in the stock market, which we currently don't have it, or we have strategic buyers to these companies, to big technologies, and that is still something that has to happen. We don't have telco companies buying startups for 400 euros. We don't have industrial companies, the Siemens and some others buying startups for more than 1 billion. And if that doesn't happen, then the whole ecosystem is missing a very critical piece, because the exit is not just the value, is the value, is the entrepreneurs investing, is the entrepreneurs starting a new business, is many venture funds specialized in that technology that have the exits. There is a multiplier effect that is vastly much bigger than the amount itself. So that's my biggest complaint with the European ecosystem right now. What is the exit?
Where's the exits? So looking ahead, right? Where is Fact Fund going? Are you raising a new fund, expanding into new sectors or geographies? What's the big picture impact you guys want to have on the European startup landscape?
Yeah, we are working on a second fund. We can't share so many details right now, but it's true that we want to focus on three main investment theses that I think are critical for Europe. The first one is energy production. We really need to increase. Some numbers said 30, some numbers said 40, but we need to increase 40% our energy production in Europe, not just for our own industry, but also for the data centers and all the AI revolution that is happening right now. So that is one of the investment theses that we have, how from software can help other infrastructures to increase the energy production. Then also a very good topic, it's AI for pharma. Pharmaceutical companies are kind of desperate, looking for new technologies and how they can speed up the process to either discover new drugs or new treatments, or how they can get more information for the patients, quality information, and so on. So there is a huge revolution on that, and I think we have an edge on that specific technology. And the third one is, as you mentioned before, what is happening in Europe, how Europe could be a bit more independent on certain important topics like security, energy, infrastructure. So we call it like a strategic tech, but it's about how we can be a little bit more independent from other world potentials like the US or China or some other countries.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Oh, I was going to ask you one last question. You guys invested in a quantum computing company,
Mhm.
I believe. So where are we with quantum? Like, are we where AI was 10 years ago? I mean, is it too difficult to tell? Like, that's one of those things, like AI, right? Forever, like for my whole
Yeah.
life, I've been hearing
Mhm.
AI, and it was only the chat GPT moment that
Yeah.
really made everybody like stop everything and take notice.
Yeah.
So with quantum, I still don't feel it like on a day-to-day level, but it feels
Yes.
like it's just like around the horizon. What are your thoughts?
There are some tests that have been made across different industries in energy, in fintech, for example. It's very important to analyze vastly amount of data like almost every day, and those are areas where quantum will make a huge difference. It's true that we are perhaps not still there. The quantum computers are not what has been promised that they could do in the future, but the investment that we have in quantum concentrate is building use cases for different industries. They are teaching how this technology could impact their businesses. So when the ChatGPT moment arrives, their goal is to have as much customers as possible ready for this new revolution, who is going to be a combination between quantum and AI.
Cool. Maybe tell people where they can learn more about Backfund and yourself, and then we can land the plane.
Well, through my, I think the best will be through my LinkedIn profile, where we post a weekly newsletter in English talking about the main trends or whatever comes to my mind. The next one probably will be about follow-ups in venture capital, but we have done many more. And also in our website, backfund.vc, so you can see our investment thesis, our next projects, and we are hoping to launch some new initiatives also in English alongside this year. So stay tuned.
Awesome. Well, thank you for those people who tuned in live, and then everyone else that watches in the future. And Carol, thank you for your time. Yeah, just hang back for a minute. I'm going to bring this stream to a close. Until next time, everyone. Bye-bye.